We pretty much know why, but
We're back, and KSI has a new opponent for the replacement pro fighter opponent that was
shout out Wade.
behind the replacement opponent for Alex Wasabi. I know it's mind-bending to try to keep up with. KSI is getting a new opponent to replace the other replacement opponent because the guy's a fucking racist. And I'm going to tell you exactly what happened here, how it all's going down, and what this new opponent brings. But before we do that, check out W Clothing, link in the description, and be there from the beginning of a movement. But let's break this thing down. KSI now has another new opponent, a pro boxer, and we're going to learn all about him. So the breakdown, let's go. All right, so I'm sure you guys know the timeline here, but I'll go over it one time in case you don't remember how we got to the point we're at. KSI was supposed to fight Alex Wasabi. Alex gets injured, has to pull out of the fight. They bring in Swarms, UK musician, apparently got beef with KSI, but the fans say, you know what, that's not enough. KSI says, cool, I'm gonna fight two people in one night, and one of them's a pro boxer. By the way, said it in my last video, shouldn't be overlooked. That's insane. And they bring this guy in, Ivan Nikolov, and that is the last time you'll hear me say that name, because not only was this guy already a fringe pick, yes, he was 3-16-2. He wasn't the greatest fighter of all time, but he was going to be a challenge for KSI. But the real challenge ended up being not doing a background check on this motherfucker, who in reality was a blatant racist. I'm not even gonna give this guy the benefit of having his face on my channel anymore, but let's just say white power was tattooed across his belly. Of course they had to pull him off. He never deserved the opportunity.
Yeah, I watched a few clips a couple days ago on the last stream I did, and saw that, like, in the sparring, you can see in his sparring videos, guy, that he had all those crazy tattoos
in the first place. And by the way, before we get into KSI's new opponent, I just want to say something else. None of this is KSI's fault. Of course, he didn't want his event to be associated with anything like that, and moving forward, it won't be. It just seems like nothing wants to go right for them, but you have to give them credit. They keep trudging forward with this event because of the amount of people that want to watch KSI in his return, but also the amount of people that want to watch this stacked undercard. Not only the entertainment value, but the competitive value in the YouTube boxing scene of everyone on that undercard. You're talking Slim versus Temper, a close fight in my opinion. Look at Deji and Fuzi, a bitter rivalry that I think maybe has the most on the line because both guys know they absolutely have to get a win here. Sensei and Kenny, that fight is asleep.
I'm most excited for Deji's fight with Fuzi. That's probably like the main, like, it'd be cool to see KSI fight twice, like, or fight even at all. It'd be cool to see KSI get back in the ring, but I'm mainly watching it for Deji's fight.
Sleeper. I'm just intrigued at that fight in general. Kenny calling out Sensei is a big play. You have Dean the Great, who's probably going to be one of the bigger stars in our YouTube boxing scene in the future. He's fighting Evil Hero. You have Salt Poppy, a superstar in the making. You have Sam Hyde on this card as well, who looks like Frankenstein's fucking monster. That's a terrifying individual. And this is why, again, I commend KSI for continuing to try to keep this event on, even though every time they do something, something else backfires. But it seems like we finally locked down this card.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
KSI's new opponent is a pro boxer. Drum roll, please. His name is Luis Pineda. And according to BoxRec, yes, Luis Pineda is 2-5-0. He's not the most impressive pro boxer in the world, but I've said this before. He wants to take on a pro, but it doesn't need to be a high-level contender. It needs to be someone that is going to challenge him, which I think Luis will, but also someone that realistically makes sense for KSI's skill level. Again, let's remember, this is only his second fight, and in my opinion, this is still a pro debut because him and Logan fighting each other in their debuts with no amateur backgrounds doesn't really correlate the same. And as far as the stats on Luis, he is 23 years old. We're not getting an older guy that's just been beat in the dirt continuously for 20 plus years. He's a little lighter at super welterweight, which is 148 to 154. KSI will have a massive weight advantage. Not sure how they're going to work around that. And also something that made me kind of scratch my head, it did say on his BoxRec that he's suspended by the Ontario Athletic Commission, but he only fought in Canada one time 4 years ago. That could be a variety of things. Maybe it's a medical suspension that he just never went and reapplied for his license for, but honestly, I have no idea what that was. And if we take a look at some of the film on this guy, he's a little bit taller, a little bit lankier, but you see an aggressive front foot fighter, someone that is going to try to bring the fight to KSI. He has technique in his punches. He can defend himself properly. This is going to be, again, another test for KSI that Swarms would never give him, that I don't know if even Alex would give him, because again, the experience of a pro boxer is different from someone still learning to box. And like I said,
I'm gonna put it out there now. I didn't know, like, there's like a huge weight difference like that, and like build wise, I probably have KSI knocking him out in I don't know what round, but yeah. I just got KSI winning that like clean.
KSI is doing this because, yes, he wants to go out and fight a pro before Jake does. That's clearly a mission from their team. And yes, that's a narrative play, but I don't even mind it because, again, they are building toward that Jake fight. And if KSI wants to be ready for that by next year, he needs to regain that experience in a short amount of time. And you do that by giving him 2 guys in one night, which is still insane, but like I said in the last video, I like
it's crazy.
And that's all I really got, man. I don't have too much more on Luis Pineda. I don't know too much more about him. We're gonna see on fight night what he brings, but like I said, this has been a completely chaotic situation for KSI and their team to have to continue replacing opponents, and we just move forward. We have 1 week until this fight, guys. Again, this card is stacked. We finally get to see KSI off a 3-year layoff. I'm hyped for the fights. I'm hyped for the card. But you guys let me know what you think down below. Are you digging this replacement, Luis Pineda? I mean, listen, there's only so many puzzle pieces you can move around in a week, and them getting a guy that, again, is not a blatant racist and a younger pro that's still trying to find his way in the scene, I don't really have a problem with. But on August 27th, things are going to happen, and if they're anything like this lead up, it's going to be completely unpredictable. So I have no idea what's coming, but I guess we'll find out.
I got KSI winning both fights, and he's probably gonna be a weight bully when it comes to the professional. So he will still be able to say, you know, he fought a professional before Jake did, and then he also won against a professional before Jake did. Like Wade was said, it's a narrative play mainly, but it's not too impressive because he's just going to be a weight bully during that fight. So, I mean, that's just my opinion, but I guess we'll see how it turns out. Let's see, Mr. Beast video. Probably just smash out these quicker videos. And then watch that Sideman video last. Mr. Beast video, I survived the plane crash. Interesting.